I call Jen Logie.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker, tēnā koutou te whare. I rise to take a call on this, the first reading of the Civil Defence Emergency Management Amendment Bill. The Green Party is supporting this bill. We acknowledge the need to resolve some issues that have been identified through reviews and recognise this bill as part of that process. This bill relates to recovery from small to moderate disasters, and we've been told to expect legislation later in the year for larger scale disasters on the scale of Canterbury, which we hope never to see again. There is a lot of work going on in this space. There's been the review of the response to the Canterbury earthquake, management of natural hazards through the RMA, the building emergency management, and of course, all of this sits, hopefully, within a framework of the National Civil Defence Emergency Management Strategy and relate to the Civil Defence Emergency Management Act of 2002 and the 2015 plan that this legislation sits within or over. And it is important to point out that part of what this bill seeks to do is to legalise guidelines and processes that are already in the existing plan but are not formalised through legislation. So we may be a little bit behind the 8 ball in doing this, but it's probably good that it's coming to the House now. Our 2002 legislation, which this all sits within, focuses on the 4 R's: reduction, readiness, response, and recovery. And this bill specifically focuses on the recovery aspect. This is an appropriate area of work for government, and I don't think anyone with in Canterbury or with links to Canterbury would argue that this is not a critically important area of government concern and Parliament's concern. The Green Party will be interested in discussion through the Select Committee of any issues relating to the oversight and consistency of this bill with other work that's happening, as well as the existing frameworks and experience on the ground, because that we have a lot to learn from. And it's undoubted that we know we have an increasing need for civil defence emergency management planning as a result of improved reporting, but also climate change, increased population pressure, building on land that was never meant to be built on. We have seen a massive increase in natural disasters over the last few decades. Globally, there was an average of 78 recorded national disasters every year through the 70s. Now there are over 350 recorded natural disasters every year. And some of the figures I read showed that 217 million people have been impacted by natural disasters every single year since the 80s. And in New Zealand, we have been spending between $1.2 billion and $2 billion.
I'm sorry to interrupt the honourable member. The time has come for me to leave the chair for the dinner break. This debate is interrupted, and I shall resume the chair at 7:30.